What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hawai'i Players Pod. I'm Olivia Austin, and today we've got middle blocker Kurt Nusterer from the volleyball team. Did I mess it up?
No, it was perfect. That's easy
Yay!
peasy.
I'm really happy to have you today. This is
Yeah.
going to be so much fun. So I know Kurt a little bit, but not like super personally, so I'm excited to kind of get to know you like on air.
Yeah, we bond over sandwiches. So.
Yeah, Jersey Mike's. So where should we start? I don't know where to start. There's so much to talk about. Okay, let's just start with where you're from.
Okay, yeah. So I was originally born in a city called Düsseldorf, Germany. And then I moved over to a small farm town in Indiana when I was like 3 years old. So I lived in Indiana for 15 years, but I would spend most of my summers over in Austria, which is where my dad is from. So even though I was born in Germany, I have dual citizenship in the United States because my mom's American, and then in Austria because my dad is Austrian. So I don't really identify with the Germany part of my life, but I've gotten really close to my Austrian family, and I played for the national team there. And then I also identify a lot with, being from the Midwest.
Okay. So what brought your family from Austria to Indiana?
My dad's job. Yeah.
Okay. So just work.
Yeah.
Work stuff. Okay. And then do you speak Austrian and German?
So Austrian isn't a language. They actually speak German.
Okay.
So I speak English and German, yeah.
Okay. Is it different dialect?
It's the equivalent to like Southern and I don't know,
So like
Californian.
an accent, kind of?
Yeah. There's not a big difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you grew up in Indiana?
Yeah.
And you went to school in Indiana?
Yeah.
Cool.
I did do 1 year though during high school. I went over to Austria for a semester. So I went to a private school over there where I lived with my Austrian family because I wanted to get closer with them. And yeah, it was a great time. Got to be independent and see a little bit more of Europe.
Yeah. Did you like go back and forth just visiting?
No, so I was in Austria for the whole 6 months during the school. But like growing up, I would spend almost every summer over in Austria.
Okay. Did your family, like your dad, go with you or just by yourself?
It depended. I remember the summer of 7th grade, it was just me and I was there for like a month. But then most summers, my family would come with me, or we would go in the winter to go skiing. It just depended.
Wait, is it cold in Austria? I don't know like where
All right,
that
so
is.
Austria is in like the middle of Europe. I don't know. Can you guys do pop-ups?
Yeah.
So if you pop up a map,
See the map.
it's in the middle of Europe, and the eastern part of Austria is where Vienna is. It's pretty rural country. But then when you go to the west, that's where the Alps are. On the west of Austria, there's Switzerland. So when you think of like the Sound of Music, the Alps, skiing, and all that, that's all on the west side of Austria. My family is on the east side, but to get from like Austria geographically is like the size of Illinois. So to get from the east side to the west side, it's only a couple hour drive. So
Okay.
it was, you're close to everything.
Okay. So have you always known how to ski?
Yeah.
So you would consider yourself like an avid skier, like elite?
Well, I mean, since, doing college sports, you kind of have an obligation to not mess up your body. And that includes doing stupid stuff like skiing. So
Okay, fair.
I haven't gone in a couple of years, but I would go a couple times a year, every single year growing up. So, I wouldn't compare myself to like Lindsey Vonn or anything, but compared to your average guy in Indiana, yeah, I can ski.
Okay. Do you think you remember how to do it?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
Like riding a
it's like
bike?
riding a bike. Once you kind of learn, you never forget.
Okay, fair. So other than skiing, do you have any like other like random hobbies that you like to do?
I love to play chess.
I love to play chess.
Yes, that is something that kind of catches people off guard. And me and a couple guys on the team have gotten really close over playing chess. We play every game day. We have the same game day routine, and chess is a big part of it. When we travel, we play. We've got a couple of different sized boards, like for a carry-on. You can put the board in and
I
play on the
should have
plane.
brought the chessboard.
Yeah.
Me and Tylen played chess on air, and then Keone challenged me to chess, and I actually beat him. You guys don't know
Okay.
that, but I did beat
Keone's
Keone Thim in
rubber. He's horrible. he's an amazing man and talented at so many things, especially athletically. But like compared to the rest of our team for chess, he's at the bottom. I love you.
You heard it here first.
Keeping it real.
We keep it real on Hawaii Players Pod. So we've got to play chess. We've got to figure out a time to play chess. You're probably going to beat me because I feel like you're a lot smarter than me. But I would like to try. What else?
So we can talk about that game day routine.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So every game day kind of have the same routine. So we lift every like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. That's what our schedule will be like next year. This past year, it was Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And most of our games are on a Friday. So you wake up in the morning, you go to lift at 7:30, which seems a little counterintuitive to like work out on the day of a game.
Yeah, because wouldn't you be kind of jello?
Yeah, exactly. But the lifts that we do is pretty relaxed. It's mostly like mobility stuff, stretching, and then go to class, 1 or 2 classes, and then we have a practice, which again seems counterintuitive. But for football players, I think it's like a walkthrough.
Oh, yeah. So it's like not like a
Basketball players, it's like a shoot around. So it's really chill, break a light sweat, watch film. And then after film, that's when like players get 2.5, 3 hours to do whatever they want before the game. And that's where my routine kind of kicks in.
Okay.
So I do the same thing. I shower, I go take a nap in the training room for like 45 minutes on one of their training tables. And then me and a couple guys, we walk over to Jersey Mike's. We get our sandwich. Shameless plug.
Every game day?
Every game day.
I didn't know that. You should have told me that.
No, literally every single game day, we go to Jersey Mike's. I get the same thing every time. Then we go to Glazer's and we get coffee, play a game or two of chess, walk back, and then we play. Yeah.
That sounds like a great game day routine.
Yeah.
Do you guys listen to music in the locker room?
Before the game, yeah. Keone's usually on aux. He's got some fire stuff.
Yeah, he told me about some of the crazy stuff he plays in the locker room.
Yeah.
But I want to know kind of how you started to get into volleyball. So you mentioned that you grew up in Indiana. So you started playing, did you start at a young age or did you?
No. So Indiana men's volleyball is a joke. It's not a thing. It just became a sport this year. But when I was there, it was horrible.
Okay, to be fair though, where I grew up in Virginia, we didn't have a men's volleyball team
Oh,
either.
yeah. No, I'm not saying like men's volleyball is a countrywide, staple by any means. It's really only big in California, Hawaii. It's huge.
But I never thought about it like that because even though we didn't have a men's team, I always knew that men's volleyball was like a big like thing.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Where I grew up, everyone thought you were kind of weird if you played men's volleyball. So I didn't play at all. I was really good at soccer. I thought I was going to go play soccer at some level in college. It was D3, D2, D1, whatever. And then I grew like 6 inches in a year. So I went from like 5'7" to like 6'1", 6'2". And then it was from 6'2" on, it was pretty steady. But I just grew a ton within 5 months. And when you grow a lot, you lose a lot of coordination.
Mm-hmm.
I was super thin, and by the time I got to my sophomore year, I was still playing soccer, but I was like 6'6" and 160 pounds soaking wet. Like, I looked horrible. I was super skinny. I had zero coordination. I was super slow, like the slowest kid on the team. And for soccer, it's cross country with the ball, so you got to be pretty fast. So I was like, well, now I can't go play this in college. I want to do something special in college. What am I going to do? And there was this club volleyball team at our school. And one of my good friends, Colvin, he said, hey, you should come try it out. I went. And the first time you play volleyball, it hurts your forearms a lot.
You're telling me.
Yeah. I
played volleyball in like rec when I was a kid. And I quit. That's why I quit, because my arms hurt.
Yeah. But that feeling goes away in like a week. So it's only like the first couple times that it hurts. But I didn't know that. So when I got home, I was like, this sucks. I hate this so much. This sport sucks. My wrist hurt. I'm bad at it. And yeah, I hated it. But my best friend, he convinced me to go back to playing. And, I tried it out. I got decently good by Indiana high school club volleyball standards, which is a really low bar. And then I was like, okay, I like this a lot more than soccer. And I decided to quit soccer. But all of my friends that I was friends with through the soccer team. So when
That's
I was
hard, probably.
yeah, no, I was telling them like, hey guys, I'm gonna quit soccer to go, and like not really for a good reason. I was quitting to play men's volleyball, and they're like, dude, are you serious?
Yeah.
So I lost a lot of my friends, but I decided to stick with volleyball, and then that was my sophomore year, and then sophomore summer, in between sophomore and junior year, my parents told me they were splitting up, which like came out of nowhere, blindsided me.
Hard.
I had a cookie cutter life, like everything was perfect. And when my dad set me down, like my parents set me down, they were like, hey, we have something to tell you. My life was so prime.
Right.
I thought it was going to be like, he was retiring, he was getting a promotion.
Something good.
We were moving, like not like earth shattering news.
Yeah.
And then my mom just dropped the bomb on me. And I was like, what? And I had like no warning signs or anything. So I was shocked. Have you seen Inside Out?
Yes.
Okay, so for those of you who've seen it, there's 5 emotions and 2 of them leave. And the main character, Riley, she's trying to go through life with only 3 emotions. To me, when my parents told me they were splitting up, all of those emotions left. Like it was just totally gray. And it was just, reality wasn't real for me anymore. Because as a kid, you kind of think, you look up to your parents' love and you're like, oh, they're meant to be. That's my role models for love. And then for them to be like, oh, it's all fake, it was a shock to me.
That's probably really hard, especially at that age when you're transitioning in like your sport. It's also, sophomore year is just a weird age in general. Yeah. And then to have like everything flipped upside down and you don't really know what your life is going to look like from here on out. That has to be.
Yeah. So I didn't have any really good friends because the soccer team, kind of ghosted me.
Yeah.
And then my parents shocked me with a divorce. And it was just me and my brother. So we had some family members who their parents had gone through a divorce before. And it tanked like the kids' lives. Like their life totally went a different direction. And he and I were like, okay, we're not letting this happen to us. So I poured like every ounce of energy, every ounce of frustration, just every free moment I had, I poured it into volleyball. So I played a ton of beach volleyball and everything. Junior year comes and I switched to a different club. Still wasn't really good, but I was starting to get a lot better. I also like hit my max height. I was 6'8", which is how tall I am now. Okay. So, for men's volleyball, that's, you can't teach that. Height. So I was starting to get good. And at that point, even though I wasn't that great, I had a lot of potential. And I start to get recruited off of my potential. And it's funny, the first school that offered me was actually Hawai'i. Then after that, a couple other schools followed up.
Shout out to Hawai'i.
Yeah, no kidding. Shout out to Josh Walker, the coach that recruited me. And they kind of took a chance on me because I was tall, I had potential, but I really was not good. Like I was not like some blue chip recruit. I was not that guy at all junior year. Anyway, we get to March my junior year. I had all these visits set up. I was going to go check out UCLA, Pepperdine, and Hawaii. And then
these are schools that had offered you already?
Okay. Yeah. And then COVID came along.
Dun, dun, dun.
And like I was literally driving to Nebraska to pick up my brother, and he and I were flying out. And on the drive, the NCAA shut down recruiting and everything.
Ugh.
So
that was probably so scary.
Yeah. So first off, like when this happened, no one had any idea on the rules of eligibility. So no one knew like if players would get another year, because that changes, the roster requirements, the roster rules. You're only allowed so many people on a team. You only have so much money. All the visits were shut down, so you couldn't go on visits. All sports were shut down. So for me, like of all the years for COVID to hit, you know, I have friends who lost their prom, their senior prom, their graduation. For recruiting, like junior year is the recruiting year.
Yeah.
And I think like it totally hosed me. You know,
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was getting into.
Yeah, and at that time we didn't know if college sports were coming back, when,
Yeah.
how.
Some school, Stanford, announced that they were cutting like a bunch of college sports. It was just kind of like the Armageddon of.
It was a crazy time.
Yeah.
Support for Hawaii Players Pod comes from Hawaii Pacific Health. For strains, sprains, sports injuries, and muscle and joint pains, visit the Orthopedic Urgent Care team at Straub Medical Center, Kahala Clinic and Urgent Care. No appointment is necessary. Learn more at straubhealth.org/Kahala.
So, like, did you talk to your coaching staff about that? Like, how did they like reassure you in that situation?
So, look, I was 17. I didn't have a lot of help with this. So I did something kind of stupid. I haven't talked about this with a lot of people. Like my really good friends know this and everything, and the coaches know it. Okay. But I accepted the Hawaii offer, like the spring of my junior year, and I didn't post anything. You know, so I had committed. I'd verbally committed, and most people when they commit, they're like, they can't wait to tell the world about it. You know, throw up the Instagram post. I'm super excited to announce that I've committed to play. Whatever. I kept it super low key. I didn't tell anyone. I committed just because I felt like safe that I had my spot at Hawaii. Anyway, like stuff starts to open up in the summer because I'm from Indiana where they didn't really care about COVID. So stuff started to open up in the summer. I went back to playing beach volleyball and I was still like I'd committed to Hawaii, but on the down low, I was still talking to other schools. Like I was talking to UCLA, I was talking to Pepperdine, Loyola Chicago, and
because you can withdraw a verbal commit, right?
Oh yeah, you can withdraw a verbal commit for sure. It's just like it's not the greatest thing to do.
Yeah, to decommit, right?
Yeah. Now, just to be clear, this wasn't my intention. I was just, you know, with all the stuff that was up in the air with COVID and everything.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that I could at least go to one school.
Because the school can also like refuse you.
Oh yeah. No.
Too. So it goes both ways.
Schools can pull offers.
Yeah, exactly.
And with everyone getting another year of eligibility, I panicked. I was like, oh my gosh, my offer is going to disappear because. So before anyone comes, you know, screaming at my DMs about what a horrible person I am, I'm sorry.
He's here. He came.
Yes, I'm here.
Let him leave him alone.
And I'm contrary to other people. I'm not transferring. I'm here to stay.
No one else can say that.
Anyway, so summer happens. I'm playing a lot of sports, still talking to other schools. And then Pepperdine made me a fat offer. And Pepperdine's, it's a really great school. It's in Malibu. Beautiful place. The head coach was super, super nice. David Hunt, a really great guy, stand-up guy. And I was really interested in it. So I was like, okay, if Pepperdine's also like $80,000 a year in Malibu. So
it's a private school.
It's a private school that's ridiculously expensive.
Fun fact, isn't that where they shot Zoe 101?
Yes, that is where they shot
on that campus?
Yes. So ridiculously expensive school and men's volleyball scholarships, like you only get 4.5 for a whole team of 24 guys. So anyone that's telling you on a full ride, unless they're Spiros Hakas or something, they might not be keeping it real with you.
Right.
So I had a really good offer by men's volleyball standards. It was like 50% for all 4 years at Pepperdine, which is, that's a lot.
Still $40,000 a year though.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I need to see what my academic aid is from the school in the spring. But I told the coach, I was like, if it's enough, I'll go to Pepperdine. So now I was in this great pickle going into my senior year that I had put myself in, where the Hawaii coaches think I'm coming and the Pepperdine coaches think I'm coming. And I still haven't posted anything on social media. So they're like, are you going to post?
They're both confused.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I can't live this lie long enough. I text the Hawaii coaches, Josh Walker. I'm like, hey man, Pepperdine made me this really great offer. It's a good school. I want to go there. And he was like, okay, we're really sorry to hear that, but I still wasn't a really good recruit. So they were like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's
At the
not
time.
it's not like we lost, the second coming of Jesus Christ. Okay, we lost like some Midwest nobody kid that we'll give his 10% scholarship to someone else. So anyway, I'm committed to Pepperdine. I post the pictures finally, and I'm like, all right, we're set. This is like fall of my senior year. Going into the winter, I switched to a different club team out of Columbus, Ohio. This club team was amazing. 8 of our 9 guys went D1.
Wow.
Like, great team, one of the best in the country. And I started to get pretty good
More looks.
by American standards.
Were you
And-
getting more looks from colleges at that point?
Oh yeah. Like, it was great. It was everything that I dreamed of, and I used to watch teams like that play when I was younger, competing in club. So I would go watch the courts where the good teams were playing, and all the college coaches were around, and I was like, man, these guys are living the dream.
So
So-
at this point, you're kind of forming into the player that we see today in Hawaii,
Yeah.
like more of an established player. And
Yeah.
did you kind of know that?
Did I know what?
Did you know that you were getting good?
Yeah. Like, at that point, I had known I was getting good, and probably my head definitely got way too big. Like, I had offers from most schools by then, and at all our games, like, you see all the coaches around, which
Yeah.
that was so cool, because for me, I was the kid that sucked, and I had worked really hard through a lot of adversity at my home to get to that point. So it was really surreal for me. And then spring comes out, acceptance letters come out from colleges, and I get my acceptance letter from Pepperdine, and it has the scholarship amount attached to it. At this point, Hawaii has also like climbed the ranks, and they're on track to win their first national championship.
Okay.
And I'd started watching a couple of their games in the Stan Sheriff Center, and the games are sold out. It's a crazy environment. And I'm like second guessing. I'm like, oh boy,
Maybe I messed up.
maybe I messed up. Like, look at these fans. They play in a sold out arena. They're going to win a national championship this year. They're going to be good next year. So I get the letter with my academic aid, and it's good, but it's not the amount that the coaches told me I would expect to get.
Okay.
Even though I could have afforded to go to Pepperdine still, I kind of use that letter where the money is less than it's supposed to be. I
To
use
kind of
I
leverage
use
it.
that as my scapegoat for being like, hey, the money isn't where it's supposed to be. It's not your fault. I'm going to go reopen my recruitment.
Smart kid. Smart
So
kid.
the first school I reach out to is also the school that I decommitted from. And I call up Josh Walker. God bless his heart, man. He's like, sure, you can walk on for us.
Huh?
And I just turned down a school for where I would have had to pay $30,000 a year. A pretty good school at Pepperdine. Like, it's a really good academic school. To pay $60,000 a year to walk on at Hawaii. So great negotiating by me. But yeah, I made it. I walked on for Hawaii, and then I came out here thanks to the coaches taking a chance on me. And yeah, it's been the best 2 decisions I've ever made.
That was a great story. But so wait, I didn't know you walked on.
Yeah, so
That's insane.
I mean, I was a top 50 recruit my
In a
senior year,
walk-on.
but like I still had a lot more potential than talent at the time. There's a lot of guys coming out of high school where they have a ton of talent, and you're like, okay, if this guy doesn't get better, if this guy never gets better in college, he'll still be good. Like, he'll still be decent,
Mhm.
like the top recruits.
Right.
And then there's guys who, are decent, but they have a lot of upside. And I think that's where I was. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think I was deserving of money when I came my freshman year. I was bad. I was horrible. I showed up at the UH gym, and I was the worst player. I was the worst player in the gym. My first meeting with Charlie Wade, he told me I was the worst technical player they had ever had in the gym. Because I'd been playing since sophomore year of high school. So
Yeah. So not very long.
I didn't
And-
know how to pass. I didn't know how to set. I didn't know how to hit.
Yeah, and like you said, volleyball wasn't a huge thing out there. So it's not like you had
No.
resources to get better.
Yeah. So I was by far the worst player.
So what did the Hawaii coaching staff do to kind of shape you as a player?
So there are a couple things that we really preach, which is like hand on ball. And that is like a labor of love. The more you work at it, the better you get at it. So in the fall, when I first got here my freshman year, had no clue what was going on, you know. First semester at college, I was in a long distance relationship. That didn't work out.
That's a rough one.
So after that long distance relationship ended in November, I redirected all my energy again to volleyball. I just started grinding. Like me and Keone, we were both guys that we didn't play a lot of practice because the A side, the top 7, played the B side, the next top 7. So the top 14 play at practice. And my freshman year, there were 24 guys on the team. So 24 minus 14.
Yeah,
There were 10 guys that didn't touch the ball for like an hour at practice. And that was me and Keone and a couple of my other friends. So it was really hard to get better. So we had to do a lot of stuff on our own. And we would go in, like work out every day by ourselves. We would get reps every day by ourselves. And we started to get good towards like the end of the spring semester, our freshman year. And then I went to go play for the national team in Austria. So this was interesting. So we play the national championship at UCLA. We win. That's Hawaii's second national championship.
Yeah.
We played the national championship on a Saturday, I remember. We flew back to Oahu on a Sunday. Of course, everyone's like celebrating. But finals week is that next week, like, which is tough. So I took all my finals on that Monday. And then Tuesday, I flew from Oahu over to Vienna. And then I went to go play with the national team.
Did you have to make the national team still?
No. So I played with 2 different teams. So I kind of did. But when I first went there, I played with the U22 team. So I played with them for like 2 months. And then that was kind of my tryout to go move up with the senior team. So I played with the U22 team for 2 months, which was awesome. It was great. Love the guys. Still talk to a lot of them every day. And then after I did pretty well there, they decided to keep me for another 2 months with the senior national team, which was great. Like, you know, I played volleyball for 4 months. I got to see 16 different countries. It made me way, way better, and touching the ball every day, like that really helped, you know, boost me.
Yeah. Did it build your confidence too, probably?
Well, you know, when I started, it's like this repeated cycle of events that I've been in. When I started with my high school team, I was the worst. By the time I left, I was the best for my high school team. When I came in at the UH gym, I was the worst. And then now I've slowly been working up, and I hope to be one of the best when I leave. Then when I came in with the national team, I started as the worst, and I left on the senior team. I was still the worst because like they're all 24 to 35-year-old guys. You know, those are grown men. They work jobs. Like volleyball's their job.
That's fair.
So I was the worst, but I did feel a lot more confident in my skills because a lot of the UH guys, when they're not playing, they just go home for the summer and they just hang out at the beach all summer. So I had a lot of confidence because I had been playing at that point for over 12 months straight. And when the second I landed after coming back from the national team, I went straight back to practice because I came back like in September.
Yeah.
So
you're close to season.
So I came right back and I went right back to work, and then I played another 7-8 months straight. So I was confident coming back to the UH gym, but I wasn't confident with the national team.
Fair, but there's something to be said for like having a seat at the table.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was cool. I mean, being one of the youngest guys, like I was 18, playing with, you know, grown men, guys I looked up to, you know, really respectable players who had great careers. So it was a ton of fun.
That's crazy. When your idols become your rivals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, for real.
So then coming back to UH, what did it start to look like when you realized you were going to start playing? on the court?
So I came back in the fall, and Guillermo Voss and Cole Hoagland, who both were starters the year before they came back. And they're great players, you know. And I knew that my role was to be probably a B-side player.
Mm-hmm.
And I still had a lot of pride in that role, like, because I really thought we made the A-side a lot better that year. We showed up every day at practice to beat the A-side, and a lot of times, like, we did. You know, we were hustling, we were working super hard. And a lot of times, like, me and Cole were really close, Cole Hoagland. So sometimes it's tough sitting on the bench. You know, you see the guys in front of you, they have what you want and you want it. So sometimes you get jealous. Sorry. And that puts a little bit of a strain on your relationship.
Of course.
Thankfully though, you know, the guys who had the spot, Guillermo and Cole, great guys, super nice guys. You know, you can't really have a problem with them. So I was content with my role that year as a B-side player. But I still wanted to make sure that I earned the starting spot for next year, because if I didn't prove myself that spring, they would have brought in another recruit to replace me for this past year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was really fortunate. You know, Cole got sick for the outrigger tournament, so I got to play against.
You got your Tom Brady moment?
Yeah. Oh, literally. I got to play against Purdue Fort Wayne, who was not bad. I had a solid game. Penn State, I got to go in. They beat us, but I did pretty well. And then UCLA. So that was the number 1 ranked team versus the number 2 ranked team at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was my freshman year, because I redshirted my first year.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to play, sold out stand, and that was just unreal. I had a really great game, and at that moment, I had kind of like earned the starting spot for next year. Like, I had solidified that, you know, I was good enough to play against the best in the country, and going forward, I wouldn't have to, you know,
Prove yourself anymore?
I still have to, you know, you still have to be the best every time you go out and play. Sure. But I solidified that I would start probably on the A side the next year. So that was kind of a relief, and that built up my confidence a lot.
And this was not this past season, but the season before that.
Yeah,
right?
And I was still a walk-on. Like, I had a great game. I had 5 kills on 6 attempts.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It says 5 blocks or 3 blocks, 5 kills. Right? Yeah.
So I had 5 kills on 6 attempts with no errors, and then I had a couple. Like, I had the block when it was like 26-26 for set 1, and then me and Jakob like got together for a block for game point, and like I had a, you know, just to be frank, like I had a really good game, but I was still a walk on. Like,
yeah,
I was a walk on.
There's still that chip on your shoulder.
Started and beat the number 1 team in the nation, and you know, so I still wanted a lot more. And
like the little taste of like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And you still have that chip on your shoulder, and you're kind of more hungry for more.
Yeah, exactly.
That had to be a crazy feeling.
Yeah, it was awesome, but it was like I want so much more too, because like after, you know, volleyball's kind of a like noticeable thing here, so a lot more people started recognizing me in public.
It's huge.
You know, I went out to dinners. You know, my family was here. Every dinner had a bunch of people coming up saying like, "Hey, love watching you play. Love your energy," stuff like that. I was like, whoa, if this is what it feels like after just one game or 1 week of playing, I can't imagine how it would feel after like a couple of years of playing.
Oh, yeah. So then how did that fuel you to kind of adjust your training and get better and better and better to really, really know that you were going to start this past season?
So I think it was, you know, I think I was talented enough at the end of the year, where the biggest focus going forward with my role on the team was, you know, more leadership, because we lost a ton of talented players that year, and we lost like 10 guys, and we brought in 8 guys. So a net change of 18 people. And our roster right now is 17 people. So a net change of 18 people when you have 17 people on your roster, that's
a lot.
ridiculous. And, when you have a lot of turnover like that, you can lose the culture. So I knew I wanted to be one of the hardest workers on the team and, be a good mentor for the younger guys. But it was still hard because I hadn't had like a full season of starting under my belt.
Right.
So, it's now that I have a full season of starting under my belt and I've been here, I'm the second most veteran guy on the team. I think there's a better chance for me to have a positive role with that regard. But it's still one of the things I think that I need to do a better job of doing. Statistically, my contributions this year were good. I had a good season, and next year I'm pretty sure they'll be similar, if not better. But what I need to do better job of next year is leading the team.
Yeah, for sure. Do you see yourself stepping into that leadership role?
I hope so. I think so. I've been here the longest besides Aleu. I've got a great relationship with the community by now. I take care of my stuff. I'm professional, and I hope the team sees me that way. But it's not something where I can really tell people like I'm the leader.
Right.
It's something that's earned.
Earned.
I learned a lot from the amazing leaders that came before me, and through trial and error. Like this works, this doesn't work. So getting to have role models like Jakob Telle before me and all those great guys, Spiros Hakas. It's been.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
I was actually at the game that Spiros was hurt. That was a crazy, crazy moment.
Yeah.
Do you remember where you were, what you were doing?
Yeah, so that's a funny story. So before every game, I drink a fat cold brew coffee, and during the game, I drink a ton of Gatorade and body armor, and that means I have to pee a lot. Like in the middle of sets, I usually run to the bathroom to go pee, and I was using the restroom when it happened, and I came out of the restroom, and you can't see the action because of the bleachers blocking the view, but you can hear stuff, and it was dead silent. Like I come out of the restroom and it is dead silent.
It was pin drop silent.
Yeah, I was like,
when it happened, I believe I was looking at my phone. I was courtside. I was right behind the bench, y'all's bench actually, and I think I was looking at my phone when it happened, and it went dead silent.
Yeah,
and I looked up and I looked at Ku, and like her face was like completely like not like scared, but like what the heck just happened?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh gosh. And I looked around, nobody was moving, nobody was doing anything, and then I could see Spiros on the ground.
Yeah.
And my heart drops because when it's like that it's something really serious.
Yeah. Like I heard guys telling me you could hear him like breathing, like heard him crying and or not crying, but like moaning.
Yeah.
And
Can you tell me about like your mental state of like and what the team's state of mind of what was going on? And
yeah, well, obviously he was the statistical leader on our team. He had like 5 kills a set, and he was hitting most of those balls out of system. So, he shouldered so much of the team, and our first concern is, okay, how's he doing? Is he okay?
right.
Because this is a guy who was banking on signing a pro contract. Is he going to be all right? That's a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, that's priority number 1.
Yeah. And then after we were like, okay, his mental health is okay. He's got a good attitude. Let's talk about the team now. Well, statistically, it's, next guy up. So that wasn't, we didn't have a ton of options. It was like, we had 3 outsides, Chaz, Louis, and Keone. And it was like, okay, we're just going to throw them out there, see how they do. And, whoever does the best, they'll get the spot when it's time to play. And if one guy's playing bad, we can put the other one in. So that was the solution for the statistical problem. But he was like our team's leader. And he was just like, we have all these different personalities on the court. You got Poi, who's jittery and, like super wiry and, sometimes plays a little nervous. You got me who's freaking firing up and running around screaming.
You are a hype man.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then you got like Guillerme who will hit the biggest kill of, the stand sheriff has ever seen and just act like nothing happened. So Spiros was kind of the glue that brought us all together. And when he left, like, even if the player that was taking his spot was doing just as good, if not better than he ever did, it did not feel the same. Like just the overall environment did not feel normal. And then like the locker room camaraderie was different because he was, kind of the father of the team, and it was a real shame, it was a shame.
Spiros, we wish you the best if you're watching. I'm not super familiar on what his next steps are, but
yeah, this is public information. He announced that he's going to go back to his hometown. I think it's Nea Smyrni in Greece, and he's going to play for the club he played for growing up while he recovers.
Great. Well, we wish him the best in that. Let's talk a little bit about the academic side of UH. So, what's your major?
So, I'm a finance major. I was originally going to do finance and accounting. I worked one summer in accounting, and I realized I want to do finance. So yeah.
One summer in accounting, that was enough.
Yeah.
You said no, thank you.
Yeah.
And tell me about your internship this summer.
Yeah. So I've got a great internship lined up with Bank of Hawaii in their private banking group. And they've got so many great people over there. A lot of mentors of mine. There's a couple student athletes, and they've got just awesome management that's really invested in the well-being of the community. I've always wanted to do something where I can have a positive impact on the community that I'm in. And I was considering there's a lot of other places where you can have really great high-paying banking careers. But Bank of Hawaii they've got so much more care for the overall community. One thing that's really nice about working out here is things are still a little bit more old-fashioned and relationship-oriented. Parts of the mainland are so concerned about, the numbers and the dollars. Mm-hmm. Things out here move a little slower, and it's a lot more about, your relationships with other people. And for me, I want to be able to have great relationships with the people in my community and give back. And Bank of Hawaii, they're a company that, my individual goals kind of line up with what they're trying to do as a corporation. So I'm super stoked. I'll be working with them for the internship from June until August. And then I accepted a job with them for next year from August until May as I finish out my undergrad.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Would you consider yourself as a finance major, like financially responsible?
Yeah. As long as my girlfriend's not involved, yeah, I'm financially responsible.
I love it.
She keeps me honest. So.
Hey, girl money is different than guy money.
Yeah, I listen to her, trying to justify some things. I'm like, is that how it works?
Girl
Cash isn't real money.
It's not real money.
A gift card isn't real money.
Not real money.
Yeah.
So. A return is earning money.
A return is earning money.
If I return something, I made money.
Yeah. No.
Right?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And also, credit card's not real money either. I
Okay,
put it on my credit card.
That's definitely where I draw the line.
If it doesn't come out of my bank account, it's not real.
That's probably where I would draw the line. But my girlfriend, she's kicking butt right now. She earns a whole lot more than I do.
You just say that into the mic so we can hear you.
Yeah. My sugar mama, she takes good care of me. Thank you, Kayla.
I love that. So when you start making your big boy money, what's the first thing you're gonna buy her? Be very careful with this answer.
The first thing I'm gonna buy her, I'm gonna buy her a probably passive income generating.
Oh my gosh, no.
Apartment so that so I can work less and spend more time with her. I think that's exactly what she wants. No.
Let's assume that it is. I don't know her. So.
I don't know. I'd probably get her a nice ring or something.
There there we go. I was thinking a bag, some shoes.
No Louis Vuitton. Sorry, honey. No.
It's not about you.
It's not about me, and it's not about making rich people richer. I'm not buying you Louis Vuitton, baby.
So then what's your thing? Everyone, and me and Kate were talking about this. Everyone has their thing that like they'll blow money on or like save up for, or it'll be a Christmas present. For me, like I like bags and stuff like that. So like my thing will like, I'll ask for like a Chanel or something for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kate likes technology. She likes cameras. So that's what she'll spend money on. What will you like spend money on if you have like extra?
Definitely food. I really like fine dining.
Okay.
So I love going out to a lot of different spots. I've got my favorites, and I also like treating people. You know, one way that I love to, be with people is just by breaking bread with them. Eating and drinking with them. So, if I'm taking someone out that I haven't seen forever, I'll pay or something like that. Which probably isn't a good financial habit for a broke college kid.
But that's nice though.
Yeah.
Like little gestures.
Yeah.
But like that's how you show like you guys are
It's my love language for sure.
giving.
Yeah.
It's a good love language to have.
Yeah. But hopefully, things go where I hope they go. A couple years. Probably buy a Porsche or something nice. I'll probably buy a Porsche or something nice in a couple years.
Do you have a favorite restaurant you want to shout out?
Yes. For convenience and like every single day, Jersey Mike's.
Okay. Yay.
It's not part of my NIL deal. I actually am obsessed with them, and yeah, I love them.
That's when you reached out to me, and because I did his NIL deal with Jersey Mike's, I was the marketing director. He reached out. He's like, I love Jersey Mike's. Like, I eat here all the time. Like, do you guys have anything? And I was like, yeah, for sure. So we did the NIL deal, and we did the student meal deal campaign, and that was actually Kurt's idea.
Yeah. So for all you guys that are enjoying this student meal deal, feel free to reach out and say thank you. I brought that one back for you guys, but couldn't have done it without Jersey Mike's and Tim, the owner. He's a great guy, and Olivia for organizing it. But for fine dining, I've got some spots. I like the How Tree Lanai over by Kaimana's in the hotel. That's a great place. Roy's Hawai'i is definitely my favorite. Anyone that's looking to have good fish, that's probably my favorite place to go. The Signature is good. Ruth Chris is all right.
Gotta write this down.
Yeah, but Roy's Hawai'i, I've probably gone there like 25 times this year. So
is that like your go-to date spot?
Go-to date spot. I've got a friend in town spot. Go to birthday, anniversary, Christmas, Valentine's Day.
Just the go-to spot.
If
period.
you're looking for a reason to celebrate, then that's definitely the spot. And the service is incredible. And like some places, here's my thing. Some places you can spend a lot of money and the food is like, I could get this somewhere else. Like for me, steakhouses, like $150, $200 a person is a lot of money to spend for steak that's marginally better than what you can get somewhere else, and for like mashed potatoes. But Roy's, like their fish, first off, like I don't think you can get the type of fish that they make anywhere else. They've got some signature items that are phenomenal. It's reasonably priced. Like you can't get the food anywhere else. It's reasonably priced. The venue is great. I'm a big venue guy, and the service is phenomenal. So, Roy's Hawai'i, definitely the place to go.
This has turned into a Roy's commercial. Roy's, reach out to my
Yes,
my
please.
friend.
Roy's. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Chef Roy Yamaguchi the last time I went. I'm a big fan of his work. He and I took a picture. We talked a little over Instagram. He's a great guy. So, yeah, stoked to be supporting them.
Awesome.
I'm not sponsored by them or anything.
Not yet.
But if you guys are interested, please reach out.
Not yet. All right, so tell me a little bit about what you're looking forward to most this season before we wrap up.
This season, well, I think it's going to be exciting that we have so many new guys. That's going to be a lot of new personalities, new people to get to meet, and I'm super excited to get to show them around. There's definitely a culture out here. And introducing him to that culture, teaching them about the history, that's something that the veterans did for me. And that's something that I hope I can share with them because it's really important.
Yeah.
come here, you're just the same Hallie you were before you got here. It's not always the best impression, especially because of how much the community supports us. So our team, thanks to our coaching staff and a lot of other resources we get, we really pride ourselves in emerging or submerging ourselves in the culture. I don't know if that's the right word, but we really,
2 words is the right word.
Yeah, we really try to adapt and become a part of it. And I'm really excited to introduce our guys to that. We've got a guy coming from France, a guy coming from Israel, a guy coming from Bulgaria, one from the Midwest, a couple from California. That's a lot of different places, different people, and different cultures. So getting them to leave some of that behind and join something new is, while bringing some of it with them, I'm really excited for that.
That'll be awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck in your internship and next season, and we hope to see a lot of you on the court.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
See you next time.